All right. Hello, 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 hello. Okay, here we are, ready to paint, aren't we? Okay, let me see, because the magical setup needs to happen because it still takes a little bit, a couple of minutes. I see Liam, Kathy, Debbie, Serena. I know I saw more people here. Welcome, welcome everybody. Welcome Leah, Leanne. Okay, don't be shy. Say hello. We're here to paint um, cherry blossoms, painting with acrylics. Thank you for the heart. Who gave me the heart? Thank you. Thank you, thank you. So this is going to be painted in acrylics. I will be painting on a 16 by 20 canvas. Okay. I will try and make sure to move it around a little bit. I guess I could have just adjusted the camera just a tiny, just a skosh. There we go. Just a tiny bit, just to make sure that. Oops, sorry, you guys. Hold on. I'm trying to tighten the camera so it stops dropping. Okay, this will work. This will be great. All right. Let me know if this is your first time painting with me or you're my regular. If you had a chance to see like the first like 5 minutes, all of those paintings is something that I did here online. Um, there is 52 of them so far. I hope there will be more. 40 of them are in the guides. So some of those paintings went they were paid events, and but most of them were things that I just painted online with my online community. So before we move on, I want to invite you to join this Hello Gorgeous painting. We'll be doing this also online next Tuesday. And of course, if I were an awesome host, I would have had my links ready, but I completely spaced out about that. So let me go super quick and grab you the link. If you would like to paint this with me, this is May 3rd, 7 to 9, and we will have replay available. Serena, first time painting. Cassie, first time painting. Liam, second time. Sherry, first time painting. All right. Let's go here. Let me see. Yes, we can do this. Oh, I wanted to just things. Okay, so I just put a link on there to that Hello Gorgeous painting. So if you would like to join me, I would love to have you. This is also beginner friendly. We will have a tracer and I will take you step by step, and I'll also teach you a couple cool tricks about the butterflies and daisies. Okay, enough of that. Who's ready to paint? First time, and I'm here with my daughter, her first time as well. Wonderful. Well, welcome, welcome. I hope you will have fun. I mean, I know you'll have fun, but so, um, um, what it is that we need to do, first of all, we need to relax, you know, um, warm up your fingers a little bit, warm up your hands. I don't do this every single time when I teach, but I think that this is a good idea. And a long time ago, I saw this YouTube video where the artist taught the class, and before the class, she said, "Okay, now raise your right hand, repeat after me. I say your name, promise to have fun, and not judge my work until it's completely done." And so let's try and do that. Okay. All right. So what we're going to use, everything's in the guides in the group. By the way, I'm rearranging the guides a little bit. I'm saving everything there. I'm not removing anything. But I'm gonna make it so that the most recent paintings are on the top. I'm not gonna move anything else, but like the most recents are gonna be on the top because it's becoming harder and harder and harder for people to find them when you have to scroll through 40 other projects. It's hard. So the colors. So again, it's all in the guides. What I'm using today is peacock teal, primary yellow, black and white. And we're gonna need black like way at the end, so now that I'm gonna put it on my, I'm not even putting it up yet. And I have magenta. So I have people asking me what kinds of paint I use. People ask me a lot, like this question is super important because we all want to not have to spend a whole lot of money, right? But still get decent results. So I can tell you this, Deco Art, I am not affiliated with them, but Deco Art Americana so far for the budget-friendly craft quality paint, I like them the most. You will see me using this bottle a lot. I've had this bottle for quite a bit. So what I do is I just buy this. I got this when the pandemic hit, and I just couldn't find white paint. This was the only white paint I could find in the store, which is why I ended up with this bottle. But I like that it has the flip top like this. And so I just buy a big one and I pour it. So this is still Deco Art. I have to, like, I feel like I have to explain it because that's not fair. Now, if you start going like into more expensive paints and you want to put a little bit more money in it, I really, really like Arteza or Arteza. I don't know how people say it. Arteza. Really, really like this paint. And the other one, Liquid Tex. I'm sure you've heard that. Liquid Tex is good. And recently, this is even more expensive, kind of. Winsor and Newton, I kind of picked that up. Um, the sky is the limit. If you want to spend $40 on a tube of paint, you can do that. If you want to spend $200 on a tube of paint, I'm sure you can do this. So it's all up to you. Okay, up to you how far you want to go. Okay, so I'm gonna put my reference somewhere to the side where I can still see it, but it's not so important. It's all good. Okay. Hi. Okay, I'm reading the comment. Bright yellow. Okay. Well, so here's what's happening with colors, y'all. If you do not have the exact colors, it'll still work. But you need to make sure that you have cool and warm colors in the same painting. This is what makes this painting so bright and cheerful and vibrant, okay? So primary yellow is warm. Peacock teal is cool. Oh, wow, it doesn't, like on my screen, it's more blue. Trust me, it's peacock teal. It's more with the green tint to it. It has a little bit more of green in it, okay? So this color is warm. This is cool. Magenta is on the cool side, all right? And so when these colors are together, we get necessary contrast and it looks brighter. If you end up just choosing warm colors, let's say we'll go with primary yellow and we'll take cadmium red, and I'll take like phthalo blue or true blue with this. Your painting is gonna look a little bit dull. It's not gonna be like cheerful. Okay, So as you're mixing your colors or as you're changing your palette, be aware of that. All right. And I know this is a little bit more advanced than just a I'm sorry, I'm having allergies and my ears hurting. That's why I keep touching my ear. It's a little bit more advanced than the beginner level, but I think this is important to know. Let's try. No. Here. Okay. This is where we need to be so that you can see what's happening. Okay, so we talked about paint. I'm going to use, I have two palette knives, and I use this teeny tiny one, this teeny tiny one, dude, for mixing my paint. And I will use this one for spreading my paint on the canvas. If you do not have that, you can use any old plastic card. So you just hold it like so in your hand and you just will scrape this way. Or if you want to use the shorter side, also you will hold it like so and you will scrape your paint this way. I have also two sizes of round brushes, large and small. If you are not painting a 16 by 20, but you're painting a smaller size, you might want to have a smaller brush because this will define the size of the petal. So see how I push it and it kind of shows me that would be the size of my petal. If I want a smaller petal, it makes sense to use a smaller brush. All right, let me know if we have any questions and we're gonna start painting. I hope that everybody can see and hear me well. Okay, I am moving, scooching a little bit so you can still see the edge of my canvas. It's really not that far in. I don't know why it's... Okay, that's the edge of my canvas. So that you have that. All right. So we are literally going to pour some paint on the canvas, okay? So shake your paint if you haven't used it in a couple of days, if it's been sitting, and just add a few, I don't know, like that, something like that. I like to add 3, sometimes 4, sometimes 2, depends on the mood. Then either grab your card or your palette knife and spread this. Ah, makes noise. This is noisy. Just spread it around. Leave some of the canvas not covered with this. So just a bit. Okay? There. So we can see that we only covered just a part of the canvas. And then I wipe it off. Okay, then I'm gonna grab my teal, which I haven't used in a long time, so I'm gonna shake it again. So we're working on the background first. And randomly, random, wherever you want it. Just put it there. Do not overthink it. It's all good. Okay, then grab your magenta. And magenta, my magenta is super bright. And so I'm going to add it where white is. Just kind of dots. And okay, this is quite a bit of paint. And we can always add more if we need it. And now next, I'm going to add my yellow. And I'm going to try and add my yellow where there is no other color. Let's just kind of work it in. They're going to mix anyway, but that's okay. Okay? Now grab your palette knife or your card. I'm going to scooch my canvas a little bit over to the side still because I have my laptop right here and I don't have the range of motion. I can't get into that corner. So, but you know what I'm doing. You can start at any point in the middle, on the top, on the bottom. Just make sure that you're always moving from top to bottom, up and down, not across. Okay? Up and down. All right, let's go. Let's do this. Okay, and now my palette knife is super messy, so I'm just gonna put this on a paper towel because I want my colors to kind of stay nice and clean as much as I can do that. It's okay if we have a little bit of mess, right? But there. And maybe, look, I have nice amount of color, and here is like kind of a bare spot. So I'm just gonna go here and apply. And again, and again, and again. Clean my palette knife. Okay. And so now I'm going to just add a little bit of yellow here on the edge. And maybe there on the edge. Doesn't have to be yellow. You can add whichever color. And I'm going to add some peacock teal over here. Ugh, that was a lot. Okay. Now let's spread this yellow all the way to the end, and then we're gonna start kind of pulling the paint, making sure that it's all the way to the edge. Here's another one. Just using this messy palette knife or card. Just keep moving this paint around until you get to the point where you're like, okay, I like. Yeah. Okay. And stop. Right? Now the sides of this painting, you can keep them. Just leave them for now. And then when I just want to do this edge, it's not quite gotten to the edge. And then when your painting is done, we can come back and finish the sides. So it's important not to overmix, okay? When you start overmixing, you're gonna start losing the vibrancy of your color. Oh, what fun. Oh, what fun. Okay, so at this point, we need to dry this. A hair blower, a heat gun, whatever you have. I have the heat gun. I hope it's not too loud. Please forgive me if it is. But I'm just going to dry this thing. So I just noticed I had a little bit of a flooding situation on the side. So I'm just gonna grab a paper towel and wipe it off. Because if I am turning my canvas at some point, I really do not want to get a handful of paint. Okay. All right, so listen. Almost forgot. This is halfway, half dry. And I just remembered that I have some texture here. I hope you can see it in the camera. It's very hard to see. Anyway, if you would like to add a little bit of texture, you can simply grab a paper towel. Yeah, kind of scrunch it up, make it all wrinkly. Yeah, and just go for it. And then change it. I'd like to turn mine inside out. We'll just grab another one. Okay, and maybe add. I don't know, I really like the stripe. I really want it to be not as perfect. You know what I mean? Just too perfect. It's too perfect. I want to mess it up a little bit. Now, if you like it the way it was, don't do anything. Okay? This is your art. This is your choices. What you're gonna do with this. Okay. This takes forever, doesn't it? There's a lot of paint here that we need dried. Yep. Still super wet. Sometimes it helps to get it from the outside, from the other side, because canvas is, though it's primed with gesso, it's kind of fabric still. So sometimes it helps to warm it up on the other side to kind of speed it up a little bit. See what I meant? Yep, yellow on my hand. Ah! Okay. Hold on, I'm gonna grab a wipe. Oh no, what happened? Oh, okay. I'm still here. Okay. It kicked me out of the studio for a second from the video. That was strange. You guys can still see me, right? Tell me that you still can see me. I'm doing a quick cleanup because I ended up landed myself in paint. Best traditions ever, right? I see you. Okay. Thank you. I don't know what happened. See you. Yes. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you so much. Sorry that you have to wait for this, but we still have to have the canvas dry, so it's kind of. How did I get yellow all over my arm? For real. Okay, let's go. Drying some more. It's still super wet. All right, you know what we're gonna do? So you guys keep drying it. I'm going to scooch it over for a little bit. How far can I move it? Probably without dropping it. Probably around here. And did I grab my paper? No, I did not. Hold on, I'll grab a sheet of paper. I want to show you something. Okay, so if you have printer paper, notebook paper, whatever paper, whatever paper you might have, you might want to do this with me because it's a great exercise on how to draw branches. So while we are waiting for the canvas to dry, we'll just practice that a little bit, how to shape a branch, okay? And I have burnt sienna here, and this is this Arteza brand of paint. So it's much thicker than what you would get from craft paint, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna add some water to this, decent amount, and I'm gonna use my little palette knife to mix all of this in. And why I'm using the palette knife is because I do not want this paint stuck in my brush. Because then I'll have to clean my brush and then all of this paint will go in the water. That's not what we want. If you do not have a palette knife for mixing, maybe use your card or maybe, I don't know, like a little spatula or something, or a stick or the other side of the brush. That wouldn't be ideal really, but I mean, you can still use your brush, of course. But if you have a chance and if you can splurge and get yourself a one palette knife, you can do yourself a good favor here. So we're gonna grab a round brush. I'm just gonna show you real quick on scale. So that's a small one for this kind of size of paper. If you're on 16 by 20, we will end up using the large one later, okay? But what I want to show you is how to draw the tree branch without having to use a tracer. Okay, so the tree branch is gonna go, I break up my page into thirds. So I'm gonna go from 1/3 to 2/3, right, somewhere here, okay? And I'm gonna hold my brush at the wrong end, over here, all the way, far, 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 so that I do not have so much control of it. I'm gonna drag it on my paper, and as I'm dragging it, I will twirl it in between my fingers. So you see the motion happening? It's twirling, yeah? So look what's happening. I'm putting it down, dragging and twirling. Voila, you have a branch. And if I wanted to make it thicker, I'll go lower and go in the same direction, drag and twirl. And then I can paint it in, right? Okay. And then if I want to add branches, which way is my branch going? That way. Do I want to get another branch? Okay, let's go this way. Do I want to, drag and twirl pretty much. And if something's not so perfectly connected, I can always go back and connect them. Okay? So this is how we're gonna put branches on the canvas once the canvas is done. And then another branch goes all the way from the corner and it goes up. Does it have to be perfect? No. Just do it. Okay? Goes from the corner up and stop. Right? It makes sense to probably have the brush decently full of paint while you're doing this, and maybe again like a funny branch and another. Okay, so grab a sheet of paper, and before you start doing this on your canvas, run a couple of trials just on a separate sheet of paper. It will make your life easier. Okay, so I've shown you how to do branches, and then when we have the main shape on the canvas, then we'll work about shading. We'll work on shading and all of that awesome stuff. And let's see, it's drying, it's getting there. I didn't want to overheat acrylics. Acrylics don't like to be overheated. So let's see. And then now I'm going to show you how we're going to make flowers. Okay, so we have white paint, and we're doing pink cherry blossoms, and we're going to use magenta for that. And my magenta again is Arteza, so it's much thicker than I needed for this project, or for this painting more like, right? So I'm just going to add some water. This is an awesome thing to have in the studio. If you paint often enough, this is an awesome thing to have. Ultrafine mist sprayer. Okay, and we're gonna work this in. And I'm gonna show you how to shape your flowers so that when we get to that step, you have already seen it once, and then your brain will be a little bit easier. It will be a little bit easier for your brain to put it on canvas, okay? So I'm gonna use my bigger paintbrush so that you can better see, okay? So I make it damp, wet. It gets this nice shape. And I'm going to mostly grab white on it. So see, it's filled with white. And I'm gonna grab one side of magenta, like this, see? And then I'm gonna paint a star, but I'm gonna be very careful with my tips here. So I'm gonna hold my brush so that magenta is on one side and white is on the other. Put the tip down, press, and lift, and I have a petal. And then I can rotate the brush a little bit in my hand. Press and lift, rotate. press and lift. Yeah. And then I'm seeing that my colors on my brush, see, they're starting to blend a little bit. This is when I like to add a little bit more white to it and a little bit more magenta. And again, press and lift and press and lift. And we have the flower. Okay. You can create a whole gazillion of different flowers. So you can do one, let's go this way. So we can go one on top petal, and then we'll do 2 and 3. And then the ones here, you can kind of twirl them in, and your flower looks different. Okay? Let me know if this all makes sense at all. So when we paint the branches, we will have time to practice, but I just wanted to throw this in front of you, right? To put it in front of you, or you can just have something like this. Okay? Make sense? I'm trying to see, what did I miss? Yeah, or you can have just one petal and going up, going up. Yeah. So we'll just play with this. Let's clean this up. I think, yep, my canvas is ready for the tree branch. So I'm just gonna start working on that. Make sure your canvas is decently dry. Like it's not dry, it's still tacky a little bit, but it'll work. I do not want to lift any color with it though. Okay, does it make sense? Okay, let's look over here. We have one branch that goes pretty much on the diagonal. It is kind of hard to understand, right? Because this is square and that's a rectangle. So we'll have to change maybe a couple of things, but it'll work. So one goes almost on the diagonal, and then another one goes right above it, kind of parallel to it, right? And then this one is coming up from another tree. Yeah? So let's work on that. We have our burnt sienna. It's ready to go. If not, give yourself a minute to make it ready to go. I'm gonna add some water on here so that my paint don't dry up. And I'm using my large, super large, huge. See the size of it? It's huge. It's like, it says it's number 12, but it's really number like 24. And we're gonna mix, if we had any water in it. Super wet brush, super full round brush. Okay. And here is, move. All right. So here's my spot at like 1/3 from here and go into 1/3 over here. Okay. Ready or not, here we go. Hold on the wrong side. Don't forget to twirl and drag. And go. And twirl and drag and twirl and drag. Okay. You do not want to have anything on that side. This is why I kind of slowed down, because I have my laptop over there and I didn't really want to hit it. So you really want to have safe space to do this kind of stuff. Make it wider, bigger, like this. Paint it, cover it. Something like that. The bump. Okay, now let's add some branches to this. swirl it. And another. They don't need to be perfect because guess what? We're going to add flowers to them, and so that will be just fine. Maybe another over here. I don't know. It felt like it was a good idea. Okay. I keep saying okay, like I could hear you. All right. Now let's add hello. I need to see who this is that said hello because I'm on StreamYard and it doesn't let me see who comments. I need to go back in the group to see that. So now I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna add one more branch up here in the corner. Nothing crazy. And I'm going to go to the bottom of it. And I'll have a branch that comes from here. Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit on the side. Yeah. All right. So I have a little bit of paint pooling and adding voluntarily to the branches. And I think that it looks so cool. I love it. I have a little bit of it adding itself. Rebecca, I'm working on 16 by 20. Rebecca asked me what size of the canvas I'm working on. This is a 16 by 20. Okay. So this is where I am right now. Yeah. Let's rinse off this huge brush. And if you are on 16 by 20, and if you painted these huge branches with me, you're going to grab the small brush, the small round brush that we have. Yeah. And we're going to grab a little bit more of this burnt sienna. And we're going to add like small branches. It doesn't have to be just something thinner. Yeah. Just thin. Just add them. Use the very, very tip of your brush. And don't be afraid. You can't mess this up because once you cover this up with your flowers, you know, all these branches, like most of them are just going to disappear. So yeah, try not to overthink it. It's too easy to overthink it, especially with branches, trees. Like we want them to be perfect, right? They need to be just so. Okay. Let's go ahead and grab a little bit of black. And I'm just gonna put it directly, just one drop, directly into my burnt sienna. Yeah, I'm gonna work my brush around it, making it darker, much darker brown. Okay. And I'm going to add some dark kind of shadow. See, my color is not dry at all, but that's okay. Kind of dark shadow. Did you guys dry your colors completely? Did they dry for you? Because I really kind of like the fact that it's picking up some color. See, it makes the branches look so much cooler. Okay. Just on the bottom of those branches, you just add it. It's like you're shading. You need a lot. Just again, just on the bottom of your branches. And if you went off a little bit, it's okay. Well, it will all be covered with flowers anyway. Just add a little bit. And then in the area where you have a lot of wood, like over here on this side, I have a lot of wood. I'm just gonna add texture a little bit. Just use your loose kind of hand and add a little bit of that. Okay. And yeah. And now I'm going to use the same messy brush, and I'm going to pick up a little bit of this white. Just take it over to the side. And I'm going to use it, add a little bit of, seriously, just a little bit of highlight on top of these branches. Just a little. Okay. I'm rinsing my brush because I'm not going to be using it, and always rinse your brushes. Never let them sit in there because acrylics really is not kind to your brushes. All right. Okay. So at this point, once you have your trees, it is super important to get it all dry. Because if it's not all dry, all of your pink flowers are gonna turn mud because they're gonna pick up brown color from your tree, right? So now we're gonna have to be super patient because there is a lot of paint on here. And we're gonna dry it. All right, ready? Let's do it. All right. So here's what I'm going to do now. I'm gonna start adding. Oh, sorry. Find my chair. Okay, I'm gonna start adding flowers, just like I showed you. And I'm gonna start putting them in the areas that are dry, okay? So you can see, if you look at your canvas, you will see that some areas are still super shiny and others are not. So if the area is super shiny, then avoid it for a little while. Okay, now what you need to know also is that your flowers are gonna get super, they're gonna be chunky, right? And there's gonna be a lot of paint on them. So those are gonna take a while to dry. Okay, and so they will be dry to the touch in a couple of hours probably. I would leave it overnight, but I would not put anything on top of this painting for good week because acrylics take a long time to cure and things will just stick together and that will not be pretty. So you do not want to do that. Okay, now let's grab, just as I told you before, here's my, oh, that needs a little bit of water. It's not getting the paint in that I needed to get. All right, so here's my white, here's my magenta, and I'm gonna be at the wrong side of the brush so that I can create fun and cute, different sizes, different shapes of the petals. I'm going with five at a time, 5 petals for each flower. So I'm gonna start with the bigger flowers first. I want to put them in first, okay? So I'm just going to move a little bit closer to the brush because this is like I'm all the way across here, so it's right here. And I'm gonna let this be. I'm gonna grab more paint, move to another spot. So move here. If your flowers don't have to be attached to a branch. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now this next one's gonna be more magenta, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See all the different. Oh, you couldn't even see that. I'm so sorry. I thought I was in the frame and I wasn't. Okay, here a little bit. So we're more in the frame. Here we go. All right, more white. Let me see. This is dry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then just keep going around and adding 3, 4, 5. Try and go faster. Yeah. If you brush, so the problem with this brush is that it's so long that it might feel unbalanced. It feels a little bit unbalanced. So I want to be a little bit closer. So find your spot. And go for it. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Just add flowers. Yeah. I'll maybe add more white. And just go 1, 2, 3, and 4. And stop. Do 4 petals now. Find another spot, add more white. And now don't push your brush down so much, right? So that your petal will be smaller. So you will go like that. Smaller flower. And be here. Okay. I'm gonna put my brush down and I'm gonna go ahead and grab the small round that I have. And I'm gonna fill it up with white. Just do the same thing. and with magenta, not mixing it though. And I'm gonna go around and start adding different size. Don't overthink it. Seriously. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Done. One stroke. 4, 5. And stop. 4. Okay? Do 4. Do 5. Now, when you think you're happy with it, start going 3 petals like this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now turn the canvas around 180 or 90. Let's do 90 first. And let's add more 4 petal ones. And let's find some branches for the 3 petal ones. Because it's turned the other way around, it's easier to turn your flowers so that they're not all facing the same way. So I'm moving into like 4 petal, 3 petal, smaller, much smaller bloom. Okay, and I'm gonna be super intentional about finding the branches. I'm thinking, okay, there was a couple of branches that I maybe didn't like as much. So I'm gonna be super intentional about finding those spots and placing my flowers right in there. Okay, not necessarily that I didn't like it there. I'm like, oh, this looks great. Let's do 3. What do you think? How is this working for you? Let me know. Okay. Rinse out my small round brush. And now I'm gonna go for, and it's not completely rinsed out, there's a little bit left, but that's okay. I'm gonna grab some white. You know what? I'm gonna rinse my big brush also later. Let's finish the flowers first. Grab just white, okay? And just do, I'm gonna turn my canvas so that it's easier. And just pick some spots on the branches and just do 2. 1, 2. Just white. Like it's something that is not blooming yet, but it will. Can't decide. I think I'm pretty happy with what I'm seeing. Okay, so I see. Let me just see who's up there. Pam. Okay, Pam says that she can't wait to try it and that I make it look so easy. Listen, with a painting like this, the main thing is to let go. Let go. Once you let go and you let your petals and your brushes and your branches, like all of that go, this is when stuff starts to happen. Okay? So like I told you earlier, right? I picked up some paint over here. I'm sure you can, if I try hard enough, I'll be able to show you right here. Okay, let's go closer. I don't know if you can see it, but there is like bluish on there. I love it. It adds up so much. It adds so much to this. Like this whole thing. Yeah? Just set yourself loose and get to work. All right. Let's see. Centers. Yes, we need to do centers. We cannot forget the centers. So for the centers, we're going to use yellow. So let's do the centers with yellow first. And oh my gosh, if you have one of these, let me see if I can grab it real quick. Ooh, you have one of these. This is a stencil brush. Where are you at here? So it's round and flat. And this thing makes perfect centers. And the other day I went to dollar store and I found stencil brushes. So depending on the size of the flower, you could probably use something like that if you wanted to. But I'm gonna use them for other things. I cut this one off. It didn't sell like this. It was like that. But I figured for $1, it's worth a try, right? Anyway, um, I got stuck. Okay, so back to the round brush. Grab your yellow. Manipulate your canvas so that you're comfortable with whatever you're doing. Do not overload. Just create some sort of just dab dab. Okay, do not try and create a circle in there. Just go dab dab dab. And I'll put a few more dab dab dabs, and I'm gonna bring this up so that you closer to the camera to show you what I mean. Okay, here we go. Close-up view, if I can. So see the dab, 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 not a circle. Dab, 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 not a circle. And a little tiny dab. Where is it? You can't even see it here. Yes, on the three petal. On the three petal, a little tiny one kind of picking out from the two, from under the two of those. Okay? Okay, doke. Dab, dab, dab. And then of course, like the bigger blooms are gonna need more for the center. And the tiny ones are gonna need less. And the the white ones over here, those don't need anything at all because they're still closed up. Just be patient. It's very easy to start getting super messy. And look, my brush had picked up a little bit of magenta. And so some of my centers are turning a little bit orange. And I love that. It's a beautiful color. Looks very, very good. I like that. Now, if I do not want to carry over the color, I just wipe it off on the paper towel and go back into yellow. I do not want to rinse this brush out because I do not want to bring any more water in here. No more wetness. This is wet enough, right? Okay. Did I grab every flower? I think so. All right. Rinse out. How to pick a color mix? Please type because I'm deaf. Oh, okay. I thought I did the, okay, I'm sorry. I'm like speaking and thinking at the same time. I thought I had closed captions here. Didn't we have closed captions? Hold on. Yes, I do. Yep, I see them. Just making sure. Yes, I do have closed captions. Okay. Deborah, you know what? I'll make myself a note and I will try to send you. I think we talked on the messenger, right? You messaged me earlier, right? So just for everybody to know, peacock teal, any kind of teal. You want lemon yellow for that. Uh, warm yellow is not gonna do this color for you, okay? So you want lemon yellow and maybe true blue and white, okay? All right, I'm going to put some black on my palette, just a little bit. I don't need a lot because this is just for the centers. And look, now we're gonna go like super careful, super careful. So I'm grabbing my brush that was damp and I'm squeezing the water out of it and I'm bringing it to a sharp point. I want it super sharp. If you have a liner brush, you can use that. Oh, look, I found one piece that I did not. I found the flower. Always happens. Here, we'll do it this way so that I don't have to rewash the brush. Did I get all of them now? Probably. Okay. And so super careful. We're going to put a little bit of black on the very tip. Bring it up to the camera so you can see it closer. Just the tip. Okay. And now we're going to start again, carefully moving through all our blues and adding just a few specks. You see that? Yeah, just a few specks. Just a few, a few, just a few specks here and there. And not every flower is gonna need them. So you can kind of decide if you want them for every flower or just a few flowers. Whatever. Oh, hello. Yeah, I don't think that every flower necessarily needs them, but those spots are just little, they kind of help with defining the flower center a little bit. So yeah, if you want to hang out after we're almost done really. You want to hang out, I will try and show you how to mix teal. Yeah. Okay. Man. These are the cherry blooms. Yay. So go ahead and grab whatever you like to use, a Sharpie, or maybe a tiny brush, or I don't know, some people like to use Posca markers. I'm one of them. I really like Posca markers. So let me find one. Oh, don't broke my camera. That would not be cool. And find a spot. I like to I don't know, for some reason I like to sign my paintings along something. Sign. And we're done. Okay, if you're hanging up for teal or peacock color, if you can't get it at the store, do I have lemon yellow is kind of an interesting one. It's been so here's my lemon yellow, and here let me show you both. We can do cerulean blue, and we can try ultramarine, and we're gonna need a little bit of white with that. Okay, who's hanging out with me? You're still hanging? We'll just play a little bit. This is how I play with color. This is how I learn to mix color. You just kind of set yourself a goal and you think, okay, I want this color. And we're gonna try on two sides. I don't want to mix a lot because I have no use for it right now. So I do not want to. Okay. So cerulean blue is more like that sky blue. You want to add blue to yellow little by little. You do not want to overwhelm it because it's too easy to overwhelm. Okay, so we've got green, a little bit more. A bit more. Let's see where it'll take us. A little bit more. Maybe some more. And depending on the brand, you know, the amount of pigment in your paint is going to be different. So it's very hot. Yes, that's where we want it to be. And let's grab some white. I think I put a little bit too much white in here. But this is teal, right? Here we go. So there is one way. Let me clean up my palette knife. And we have lemon yellow and we have ultramarine. Let's see if this will work. I think it's not gonna, it's gonna be a little bit like different shade of it. More blue. More blue. Oh boy, all of the blue. Okay. Oh yeah. And some white. Maybe this could probably use a little bit more blue though. A little bit more ultramarine. Let's add it. I'm just curious if it'll work. I know it'll work eventually. It's like, how much paint am I gonna waste to make this work, right? Okay. Yeah, and so this is more on the grayish side teal. So I like the first one much better. See, also teal. Two different teals, both with lemon yellow. You really need lemon yellow for that because you're going for yellow. You're going for a cool color, so you want to mix cool colors. And these two are cool colors. Ultramarine is not a cool color, and so see, it came out a little bit different. What about magenta? Magenta, you cannot mix magenta because magenta is a color of its own. It's cool red. So magenta is, yeah, it's only out of the bottle. Okay, so here's the thing. I do have a post about that in guides about what colors you might want to have to be able to mix all the colors on the palette and not have to buy 150 bottles of everything, right? Let me switch the view so that you guys can see me and we can really talk if you have questions. Here. Okay. Hey, hey. All right. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna remove here. I'll just remove the table because we don't need it anymore. So, as I said, hold on. I'm getting an echo in my phone, and so we will just remove it. All right. So, to mix all your colors, you need primary colors in cool and warm tone, and that will allow you to mix all your colors. So you're looking at um, lemon yellow and like a primary yellow or cadmium yellow. Okay, cool and warm. You're looking at red, like cadmium red, and quinacridone magenta. Okay, and you're looking at probably cerulean blue or sky blue or something. And then on the other side, usually people use phthalo blue, ultramarine blue, like a warmer tone, and of course you need white and black. And if you have those 8, you can mix anything. I mean, we literally just mixed magenta teal colors. Okay, so that's it. That's all to it. There is not much to it. All right. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this was fun. Ah, I had fun. Um, and so do not forget to sign up for the butterfly, for the gorgeous, hello, gorgeous butterfly. The link is there. If you can't find the link, let me know. It's in the events in the group also. What else? Oh, next time we're painting with metallics. That's going to be super, super fun. Also, uh, metallics is also something that you cannot mix. You have to buy them. And I think that's it. So let me know. Oh, do not forget to put your paintings in the group. Okay, put them in the group, share them. I would love. I can't wait to see what you guys painted. All right, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.